tested. Can Jerome, with his thunderous fist, possibly find a way through?
Well, you know what? If anybody can, it's Jerome. As we've seen in Jerome's last fight with Sawayashiki, while he might have lacked the KO power that he needed to put that fight away, but he was relentless in his pursuit with his hands. You know, he was punching him left and right, and that's what you need against Remy Bonjasky. Because if you let Remy settle and start using his high kicks and his flying knees, it's going to be a long night for any opponent.
Well, we talk about the legendary hand power of Jerome Lebana, but let's not forget it's been a long time between drinks since Lebana last knocked out an opponent. Can he do it against Bonjasky here tonight? We'll see in just a few moments' time. It is quarterfinal number 4. The winner will take on the Rebel, Gokhan Saki, a former champion, versus the greatest fighter to never win it, Remy Bonjasky. Jerome Lebana is coming up now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fields K1 World Grand Prix 2008 quarterfinal bout number 4. Introducing from the blue stage, from France, Jerome Lebana.
Plus at the Yokohama Arena are going off their absolute nanas. The battling cyborg, the human refrigerator, rock and roll, Jerome Lebana is in the house, Mike Hogan. There is nothing like seeing Lebana stud his way to center ring.
Yeah, you know, like I said, same with Peter Arge, same, well, actually, just really him and Peter Arge. Of course, Ray Seffa when he makes his entrance. You know, this is the history of K1 walking, folks. Enjoy it because it's not going to last long.
A record of 43, 16-2 with 29 knockouts. An amazing 81% KO ratio for Jerome Lebana from France. The 35-year-old who was 94 seconds away from winning the Grand Prix in 2002 until Ernesto Hoost broke his arm in the final. He is hoping to go all the way here tonight. The original bad boy of K1, Jerome Lebana in center ring.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the red stage, from Holland, Remy Bonjasky.
present Remy Bonjasky!
To the familiar strains of Ennio Morricone, Remy Bonjasky makes his way to center ring. The 32-year-old with a record of 33-8 with 15 knockouts, a 48% KO ratio. A formidable 9-2 record in the K1 World Grand Prix tournaments. He's overcome a lot of personal hardships to be here tonight. His painful divorce, his mother passing away, splitting from Maijiro Gym to now be training with the great Ivan Hippolyte. A lot of people tend to underestimate Bonjasky, but this guy knows how to win and how not to lose. He's only been stopped twice in his K1 career, and that was by Semi Schilt in 2005 and Mirko Krokop back in 2002. In 41 K1 fights, he's had 32 wins, for one of the highest win-loss ratios of any K1 veteran. A two-time Grand Prix champion back-to-back in 03 and 04. Last time he fought Labana in Amsterdam in 06, Bonjasky won a controversial decision, which FEG later overturned after Jerome appealed the decision. There is bad blood between Bonjasky and Labana, and you feel it will spill over, it will boil over here in center ring. Bonjasky, who began training in Muay Thai at the age of 18 after a career as a banker and a catwalk model, made his fight debut against Valentin Overeem at 19 and scored a win. Made his K1 debut in 2001. 2 years later, he was the K1 champion of the world. Bonjasky, a very zen-like approach here as he steps onto the apron. Goes through the ropes. And the former two-time K1 Grand Prix champion, Remy Bonjasky, is finally in center ring. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Final action scheduled 3-3-minute rounds. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks, standing 190 centimeters. He weighed in at 119.6 kilograms. Here is the K1 World Grand Prix 2001 in Osaka champion and the renowned two-time World Grand Prix Finals runner-up from France, introducing Jerome.
Ripped, stripped and striated, Jerome Labana, more muscles than a seafood platter, as always on the Frenchman.
And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with gold trim, standing at 192 centimeters and weighing in at 109.7 kilograms. Here is the two-time K1 World Grand Prix champion from Holland, known as the Flying Gentleman, introducing Remy Bonjasky.
Remy Bonjasky, ferociously popular as well here in Japan as he is across the world. Has a new lease on life. After his painful divorce, he now gets to see his family. And more than that, he has the hottest girlfriend floating around K1's illustrious girlfriend brigade, Mike Hogan. She is a stunner.
Yes, I would have to agree.
3 by 3 minute rounds, one extra round. A win is decided by KO, TKO, or judge's decision. TKO results from 2 knockdowns in 1 round. 3 rounds of action. Quarterfinal number 4. Remy Bonjasky, Jerome Labana, Michael Chavello, Mike Hogan with your inside. The right to fight, Gokhan Saki in semi-final number 2. Labana is the southpaw fighter, right foot forward. Left hand being the power hand of the southpaw for those uninitiated. Bonjasky is what we call an orthodox fighter, meaning he is a right-handed fighter. Look out for the high kicks and the flying knee of Bonjasky. Look out for the handiwork, the ferocious power of Jerome Labana.
You know, with Peter Arts no longer in contention, I think the heart of K1 fans is now behind Jerome Labana as the person who truly deserves to win this tournament.
Oh, the flying knee! He caught him on the jaw! And Labana smiled at Remy. Remy Bonjasky opened up like a house of fire here in the first round.
Right, and Remy obviously has different plans.
Bonjasky has to stay out of range of that left hand of Labana. He throws it down the center corridor, does the Frenchman.
Labana is humongous.
He is the human refrigerator.
But he's like the old time, not the new slim Samsung. You know, he's the old, I don't know the brand of old refrigerators, but you're old. What's an old?
The old Kelvinator. That's
what
we have in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know.
Labana edges forward, jab, left hand. Bonjasky gloves up nice and high. Has great defense, Remy Bonjasky. Hardly ever gets caught with clean shots to the jawline. Bonjasky, as I said, has only ever been stopped twice in his long K1 career by Semi Schilt and Mirko Krokop. Labana finds the cross, digs away to the body, outside thigh kick. Remy again looking for the jumping knee, then slams to the body. Caught him with the inside of the glove, more a slapping punch though, not really turning the knuckles in.
Right, and so far, you know, we're seeing your classic Jerome Labana and a classic Remy Bonjasky. They're kind of exchanging a little bit of a filling out process. You know, Jerome's coming forward with his devastating punches. Remy defending well, and whenever has a chance, going with those flying knees and high kicks.
Again, aesthetically, if you appreciate great striking, great stand-up, there is nothing better than what you are seeing in centering at the moment. You can see Labana trying to cut off the ring as Remy's on the outside circling. And Labana just looking for the moment. Will the ticking time bomb from France explode here in the first round? Short popping overhand right there from Remy. Good shot to the liver off the rear leg from Jerome. Remy skips forward, goes to the rib cage, fires the right hand. But the punches of Remy Bonjasky have less weight behind them than Amy Winehouse. Solid left hand from Jerome, inside thigh kick from the Frenchman. Remy goes to the body. Again, didn't turn the knuckles into the right hand. He won't phase Jerome with those shots off the gloves.
No, he's not. You know, Jerome didn't get that nice-looking nose by, avoiding taking punches. You know, human refrigerator he is, and an incredibly hard-to-knock-out fighter he is. However, you know, knockout is not the only way to win this fight in decisions. So far, you know, I would have to say it's an even round. I mean, Jerome did a lot of damage with his hands. Remy did a good job defending, and I think, you know, answered with his flying knees and give us some nice high kicks. I think even enough to make this a 10-10 round. Of course, luckily, because we have an open scoring system, you don't have to take my word for it. We're getting ready to find out the official decision.
Remy Bonjasky utilising the Muay Thai jumping knee in the opening round. That has become his signature move. Bonjasky, who has only lost 3 fights in the last 4 years. As I glance at the official judges' scorecards here, 10-all says 1-2 judges and 10-9 for Bonjasky. So slight favour the way of the Flying Dutchman. Second round of 3. Quarterfinal number 4, Michael Chiavello, Mike Kogan with you ringside. Shortly we'll be joined by Kimbo Slice. Labana immediately pressing. Bonjasky against the ropes. Bonjasky circles off to his right. Wants to stay away from the left hand of Labana. Labana throws to the rib cage off the lead leg. Switch up round kick from Bonjasky. Nice 1-2 from Labana, not getting through the double forearms though.
You know, watch out Labana is flat-footed, so everything he's throwing is with mean intentions. However, his rib cage is starting to show the mean intentions of Remy Bonjasky's kicks.
Beautiful outside thigh kick from Remy, actually looping around to the hamstring area on that lead thigh of Jerome, and does it again. Jerome forces him back with the left hand. Belly button through the back there from Labana, and Remy brings it the center ring. He gets such great elevation and such good trajectory off the round kicks as Remy Bonjasky.
But you know
Step up knee, Muay Thai style, Mike Kogan.
Labana's starting to mix it up. He's going head, body, head, body. Mixing in a few kicks in there. So I think he's picking it up. He's picking it up in this round.
Remy covers up against the ropes, goes turtle shell. Labana trying to sucker him in and get Remy to drop the hands. But you figure a cool customer like Bonjasky isn't going to fall for Jerome's mind games. Right hand lead there from Bonjasky. Labana saw it coming, brought the forearms up. 1.5 rounds, 1.5 minutes remaining here in the second round of 3.
Yeah, you know, for those of you who are new to K1, you know, this is old school versus old school, or maybe a really old school versus a semi-old school, but both of these guys are K1 veterans. Both have been here many times. Jerome Labana probably a little longer. Remy Bonjasky a little more successful.
Lebana fighting out of the corner. Drops the body shots again, looking for the breadbasket of Bonjasky. Good shot to the liver from Jerome. Bonjasky counters with a back leg kick. Inside thigh kick from Jerome.
You know, watch the experience level of Jerome Lebana. You can see him here. He was cornered by Remy, which is what Remy usually does. He corners you and then starts doing the flying knees and the high kicks when you don't have anywhere to go. Lebana stayed so active as to not let Remy settle in and do that.
Have a look at the way, though, Remy Bonjasky just measures those leg kicks he is dropping on the right thigh of Lebana. It is scary. Lebana comes forward again. Nice shot to the body. Ripping hook to the head. Back to the rib cage again. Takes a big breath, does the Frenchman. And Remy comes forward. Inside thigh kick from Jerome. Shrugs him off to work some distance. That's why. Shot to the liver section.
You know, one thing you got to admire about Remy, he just stays so composed and relaxed in the fight. I mean, he just, you know, it seems that Lebana was just tapping him around like it didn't even hurt. I mean, it had to hurt. It hurt me watching.
Inside of 10 seconds here. Second round of 3. Again, we go to the towels, and Mike Hogan, this one is proving harder to pick than a broken nose.
Well,
One
you
more
know
round
what?
to go.
Judging from the last round and how the judges looked at it, they probably, there's some party pooper in this round that gave it to Bonjasky, but in my opinion, it's an even fight. I mean, Jerome is doing just as much damage as Remy. Remy's great, you know, in his defense. He's got some kicks that have come through. Jerome Lebana's had some punches that have come through and some good combinations. So, my opinion, should be a 10-10 round, but nobody cares about my opinion.
One more round remaining. The winner goes through to face Gokhan Saki in semi-final number 2. Who wants to take it? Who's got the pepper in the final 3 minutes to throw down and go for broke? Bonjasky, final instructions from the great Ivan Hippolyte in his corner. Pierre Follett in the corner of Jerome Lebana. After 2 rounds, 2 judges have the fight even. 1 judge has Bonjasky ahead by a point.
Same
So
judge.
still
That party
same
pooper
judge.
I was talking about, the same judge has Bonjasky up by 1 point. Not necessarily undeservedly, but I really think it's a close fight. It's an even fight.
It is still anyone's for the taking here. Good outside thigh kick from Bonjasky. Look how hard the gloves are of Remy. He knows the power in the hands of Jerome. A clash of leg kicks. It was Jerome who drew the short straw. And again, gets tagged with an outside thigh kick. This is good scoring stuff here from Remy Bonjasky. All right hand, high right, round kick, launching the knee again. Jerome Lebana being scored on more times than my ex-girlfriend so far here in the 3rd round. Outside thigh kick from Remy. He's backing up the big Frenchman. Lebana on the ropes.
Yeah, maybe Remy heard me, and you know he definitely turned it up in this round. You know, no doubt so far, you know, a minute into the round, he's definitely ahead and winning deservingly. And there goes Jerome, who heard me too. I'm telling you, these fighters got to start paying me.
As I said, it's been a long time since Jerome Lebana has actually knocked out an opponent in K1. You've got to wonder if that fabled punching power may finally have had its day. Because so far here in the 3rd, and for most of the fight, bar I'd say 2 really good punches, Jerome hasn't genuinely phased Remy with his hands.
At all. At all. At all. Jerome's elbow, something's wrong with his arm.
It is that left arm. It is that left arm that was broken against Ernesto Hoost back in 2002. That had the steel rods and the pins inserted into it. It's causing him trouble again. This one could be all over.
Doctor check has been ordered.
It is that left arm. You can see it heavily taped.
Old wounds.
Old wounds from Ernesto Hoost in 2002.
I was just going to say, I mean, we're talking about an injury from 6 years ago that's coming back to haunt him here. And that's how long Jerome Lebana has been inside the K1 ring.
Ringside position. Jerome trying to afford a smile.
It's looking like this fight's going to be stopped. Yeah, this fight's going to be stopped.
It'll be Remy by TKO, I feel.
It's over.
Nobuaki Kakuta just confirming with the ringside position. Now, there is a massive lump on the left arm. The physician seems to be saying here to Nobuaki Kakura, Jerome wants to go on.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. Look at the doctors.
Huge.
Doctors are saying no. Jerome's getting in the middle of the ring saying, you know what, forget it, let's go.
If we can get a shot of his elbow, there it is. Looks like
it's
a golf
terrible.
ball has been
Terrible.
squeezed under his elbow.
Terrible, and it looks to be unfazed to Jerome. Jerome just got in the center of the ring and said, Remy, let's finish this. Let's finish it. Now he's saying something in French.
I tell you what, Jerome Labana has a huge set of nerves on him. He wants to go on here.
Three pairs
Nobuaki
now.
Kakura with the official decision.
Yeah, Jerome wants to finish this fight. You know.
The doctors now, I'll get you the translation, folks. It is an old injury that was incurred back in 2002. And the doctor has officially stopped the contest. It is the old injury that has sprung up again and put an end to Jerome Labana's hopes to become the K1 Grand Prix champion. Mike Kogan, that is devastating. Jerome again remains the greatest fighter in K1 history to never be crowned the king.
You know, props, mad props to Jerome Labana. You know, of course, he fought like a samurai. I mean, truly a great fighter. But Remy was winning that round anyway, so he wouldn't have made a difference.
And folks, as we take a look at the replays of Remy Bonjasky just cracking away to that left forearm of Jerome Labana, opening up the injury. The steel rod and the pins were inserted after that terrible break incurred in the K1 Grand Prix final in 2002 against Ernesto Hoost, at which stage Labana was only 94 seconds away, I remember, from defeating Hoost to win the crown before the arm broke. History has repeated itself yet again. Folks, it is time to turn up the heat here ringside. We have a very